I want to announce Vetted's brand new merch line. Our Believe hat that you can see right here. Looking good. Our Believe t-shirt. This thing is awesome, I promise you. Go to vettedmerch.store. Check it out. Let me know what you think. What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we're talking about this. Trump's inner circle have shown me the real UFO disclosure. The president has an imminent speech written and ready. What he'll explain about non-human life will make it all make sense. President Trump allegedly has a speech written and ready that could finally provide the world with the truth about UFOs. Mark Christopher Lee, who correctly predicted several aspects of Trump's UFO disclosure plans in the Daily Mail earlier this year, now claims the president has prepared a speech that would amount to a historic, soft disclosure of extraterrestrial life. White House officials have told the Daily Mail that no speech discussing this topic has been planned. However, Lee revealed that multiple sources believe the speech not only exists, but may have been moved up to take place during the NATO summit in Turkey on July 8th, which is also the anniversary of the Roswell UFO incident in 1947, though he is less confident about the exact timing of the speech. Quote, "People I have spoken with in Washington have told me that a speech on the topic has been prepared and is ready to go," Lee told the Daily Mail. "Whether it happens tomorrow or in the coming days, it appears imminent."
People of the world, we are not alone on this planet. Aliens are among us.
All right, Vetters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed and you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Today's video is about a Daily Mail article that just dropped. Now, it's behind a paywall, but I was able to get it. I paid, broke down the wall, and I'm going to share it with you. So, we're going to go over this article, which I'm going to read out. I've made a nice little segment bringing all of this together where I read out the entire article and add some additional context and clips into it. But first, I do want to bring up what this article is about. All right, so it's about Mark Christopher Lee, who is a UK filmmaker who came out back in January saying that President Trump was going to be delivering a speech today, July 8th, 2026, on the anniversary of the Roswell incident from 1947. And a lot's happened since then. Well, he's tripling down, essentially quadrupling down, and still saying that this speech is imminent. Let's go through this segment. Again, I'm going to read out the entire article, and at the end of this, I'll give my thoughts. But just remember, everything that I'm reading out are not my words. This is me reading out the entire article as it was written. Trump's inner circle have shown me the real UFO disclosure. The president has an imminent speech written and ready. What he'll explain about non-human life will make it all make sense. President Trump allegedly has a speech written and ready that could finally provide the world with the truth about UFOs. Mark Christopher Lee, who correctly predicted several aspects of Trump's UFO disclosure plans in the Daily Mail earlier this year, now claims the president has prepared a speech that would amount to a historic, soft disclosure of extraterrestrial life. White House officials have told the Daily Mail that no speech discussing this topic has been planned. However, Lee revealed that multiple sources believe the speech not only exists, but may have been moved up to take place during the NATO summit in Turkey on July 8th, which is also the anniversary of the Roswell UFO incident in 1947, though he is less confident about the exact timing of the speech. Quote, "People I have spoken with in Washington have told me that a speech on the topic has been prepared and is ready to go," Lee told the Daily Mail. "Whether it happens tomorrow or in the coming days, it appears imminent." The alleged draft of the speech is said to mention specific UFO incidents over the last 80 years, including Roswell, the U.S. Navy's encounter with a craft called the Tic Tac in 2004, and multiple UFOs spotted by fighter jets along the East Coast in 2015. These incidents have been in the public zeitgeist for years now, but Lee says Trump will go a step further and confirm these incidents are believed to have involved craft and beings of a non-human origin. He is also expected to reveal that forensic testing done on entities found in crashed UFOs proves these beings were not from Earth, according to Lee. The text claims Trump would explain past secrecy, announce declassification steps, a new interagency task force, and international cooperation, while stating this is, quote, not a threat, but an opportunity to unite humanity, the filmmaker revealed. Trump has expressed support for increased transparency and disclosure regarding UFOs, though his personal interest in the subject has historically been described as skeptical or limited. Am I a believer? No, I probably can't say I am, but I have met people who are serious people who say that there are some really strange things that they see flying around out there, Trump said during an appearance on YouTuber turned WWE star Logan Paul's podcast last year.
Am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
Trump's own daughter-in-law, Laura, said multiple times she had been led to believe a speech had been written and was ready for the public to hear.
We've kind of asked my father-in-law about this because we're like, well, what do you know? Because Miranda, we all want to know about the UFOs, or we all want to know what's going on. And he played a little coy with us. And so that, of course, led us to believe, Eric and I were like, oh my gosh, if he won't even fully tell us, maybe there's more to it. And then I have just heard kind of around that, I think he's actually said, I think my father-in-law's actually said it, that there is some speech that he has that I guess at the right time, and I don't know when the right time is, he's gonna break out and talk about, and it has to do with maybe some sort of extraterrestrial life, so to speak.
Lee said one of his sources was Robert Bigelow, an American businessman and billionaire known for his work in real estate, hotels, and space technology, as well as his strong personal interest in UFOs and government transparency. Lee has alleged that Bigelow, a major donor to Trump's 2024 election campaign, has taken credit for convincing the president to prepare this speech. According to a report in Rolling Stone, Bigelow reportedly met with Trump cabinet member Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in December, with the discussion quickly pivoting from health and homelessness to the matter of UFOs and paranormal activity. Another source was U.S. television producer David Broadwell, credited with working on the series Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, which investigates paranormal and UFO-related phenomena. Broadwell told the Daily Mail that his sources in Washington were all talking about this speech, and he chose to disclose this information to several researchers who investigate UFOs. To this point, the U.S. government has maintained that no physical evidence of UFOs or alien life has ever been found to have visited Earth. Despite that stance, Trump has publicly criticized former President Obama for allegedly revealing classified information when he said that aliens are real. But I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept at Area 51.
Something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals.
Just days after Obama's comments in February, Trump issued a historic order to the Pentagon to disclose any and all information on UFO encounters and investigations into alien life. Since then, 3 tranches of files have been released by the U.S. Department of War on a newly created website, which has already been viewed more than 1 billion times since its debut on May 8th. The files contain videos, audio recordings, pictures, and thousands of pages of old reports by the FBI, NASA, and Pentagon, documenting cases of unexplained encounters and sightings throughout the world. However, none of the declassified files have been called the, quote, smoking gun of proof that definitively shows that aliens exist and have visited Earth in a genuine interstellar craft. Lee, who produced and starred in the short film called July 8, The Day Everything Changes, believes the historic speech is imminent. In order to beat out several hostile nations the U.S. is allegedly in a UFO Cold War with, battling over technology and reverse-engineered breakthroughs from crashed spacecraft.
Tonight's episode is on, talking of millionaire business people, is on Donald Trump and UFOs. And you might ask, why are we doing an episode on Donald Trump and UFOs? Well, we both love UFOs, don't we?
Yeah.
And we both love Donald Trump, honestly. So, funny faces. No, I'm serious. But there's been a major announcement that he's going to release all of the UFO, alien, and extraterrestrial files. And I had a little part to play in this. I just want to go back a little bit to, I think it was January. I had a phone call from a contact in Washington. A chap called David Broadwell. He's a TV producer from Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. And he told me that there was a speech already written for Donald Trump to address the world, that we are not alone. Okay? And serious guy told me this information. I was like, whoa, this is so exciting.
Yeah. Wow.
So unlike a lot of other UFO researchers, I decided to go public with it. I trusted my source, so I went out and put it out there. And then it went a little bit weird.
Lee said that July 8 could be the perfect platform to frame UFOs and aliens as a common threat to NATO members and steal the ground on Russia and China. Lee's predictions given to the Daily Mail in January have been spot on to this point. The filmmaker accurately claimed that public disclosure would begin this year, with UFO files rolling out from the Pentagon starting in May. This also brought a renewed level of scrutiny from Capitol Hill, as Lee predicted. Members of the House Oversight Committee have continued to press the Trump administration for full disclosure, including during a major news event on June 9th.
In my official duties, I was exposed to human and signals intelligence information concerning foreign adversary, UAP crash retrieval, exploitation and study efforts, adversary views on U.S. legacy program reverse engineering efforts, and U.S.-held audiovisual information related to crash retrieval matters, such as the recovered vehicles and the associated biological material.
Lee did claim he was misled and used about by insiders who claimed full alien disclosure would come sooner, and then stopped returning his calls after he went public with the information about Trump's speech. However, the filmmaker has stood by the main belief that the speech is real and could come at any time. I just spoke to another journalist who has confirmed that there is a speech and it is imminent, Lee told the Daily Mail.
Well, g'day and welcome to Ross Coulthart Investigates. Let's cast your mind back, 80 years to July 8th, 1947, nearly 80 years. That's obviously a date that is extremely important. It's the anniversary of the Roswell crash, the alleged collision, probably between two UFO craft in 1947, and it began what is, if you like, the modern era of speculation about extraterrestrial or non-human intelligence visitation to this planet. It's obviously strenuously denied by the US government, and to this day, the position of the Pentagon is that there is no evidence of extraterrestrial engagement with this planet. But we all know that that's a big harpy lie, don't we? Anyway, there's a filmmaker called Mark Christopher Lee who is predicting that President Donald Trump is going to make an announcement sometime on July the 8th, the anniversary this year of the Roswell crash, and he's going to make an announcement allegedly about disclosure. Now, I have to say I am extremely skeptical about this assertion.
If Trump were to confirm that the Roswell incident was real, it would validate recent claims that there has been an 80-year cover-up within the US government, and possibly throughout the world, to keep the knowledge of alien life a secret.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
Roswell became the world's most famous UFO case, forming the foundation of modern extraterrestrial lore.
If there has been a UFO cover-up, it began in Roswell, New Mexico. Near White Sands and Alamogordo, Roswell was home base for many early tests of atom bombs and guided missiles. Here, also, the practice of military stonewalling may have been perpetrated.
According to the original U.S. military announcement on July 8, 1947, soldiers from Roswell Army Airfield in New Mexico recovered the wreckage of a flying disc from a ranch near Roswell.
The case began when Roswell businessman Dan Wilmot witnessed an amazing object over the town. His son tells the story.
This was their home in July of 1947, and it was one summer evening. They were sitting out here. Dad looked up in the west and saw an object that came down and had lights blinking, and it was rather frightening to him, but he said all of a sudden it seemed to rock a little bit and sort of counterbalance itself, wiggle a little bit, then seemed to settle down and take off at a rapid rate of speed.
The story quickly made national headlines. However, the military changed its story the next day, saying it was just a weather balloon.
Reporters heard that the Air Force had found fragments of the mystery object crashed on a remote ranch northwest of Roswell. Excitement ran high until officials announced it was only a weather balloon. Major Jesse Marcel, in charge of the operation, now tells a far different story.
They took pictures, of course. They had a whole flock of microphones there. They wanted me they wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that. So all I could do is keep my mouth shut. And General Ramey is the one who discussed, told the newspapers, the newsmen, what it was and to forget about it. It was nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, which we both knew differently.
Many people still believe it was actually an alien spacecraft and that alien bodies were also recovered in the crash as well.
There is new evidence that the FBI then got into the case with a different cover story. Lawyer Peter Gersten, searching through declassified government documents, came across a mention of the Roswell case.
One of those documents related to an incident in Roswell, New Mexico, which indicated that the object which had crashed was an experimental kite. The FBI investigated the incident and determined that it was terrestrial, that it was from an organization which had been doing research in experimental kites.
What did crash in this desert? A UFO? A weather balloon? A radar-reflecting kite?
In recent years, military whistleblowers have stepped forward to publicly testify before Congress that the U.S. government is actively operating a secret program that tracks and recovers crashed UFOs. Whistleblowers, including Air Force veteran David Grush and members of the House Oversight Committee, have now called on President Trump to not only disclose what the government has allegedly hidden, but also to grant immunity to all whistleblowers with knowledge of these programs. So essentially, this NATO summit happened today, and I waited all day to put out this video, worked on it, and waited to see if Trump would give his disclosure speech at the NATO summit. And, this is the speech we wanted.
People of the world, we are not alone on this planet. Aliens are among us.
But this is the speech we got.
But we want to thank you very much. We've had a tremendous time and I think a great success. And we just concluded a very successful NATO summit here in Turkey. And I want to thank President Erdogan, who's really a great man. He's a great leader. He's a friend of mine, been a friend of mine for a long time. He's a strong person, a very strong personality. And that's why he runs such a successful and good country, and really a great country. Militarily, he's very powerful. People leave him alone.
Yeah, Trump did not disclose aliens at the NATO summit at all. And Mark Christopher Lee still seems to think that this speech could happen. It's coming, one of these weird things. So, how confident am I that this is going to happen? Not very confident, because in my opinion, Mark continues to move the goalposts. And I called this back in January that this speech would not be happening on the anniversary of Roswell. And as it did not happen, there was supposed to be a press conference back in May. That didn't happen either.
We're in contact about this speech, which has already been written. And now there's a date. The update I've got from my sources that they're going to hold a press conference on May the 1st.
The article is still trying to paint Mark as being all of his predictions came true, but they didn't at all. That was the big prediction, that he was going to be giving a disclosure speech, and not just, you know, a soft sort of disclosure speech, like aliens are here on Earth. We have evidence, forensic evidence, right? None of that has happened. And it's very easy to say it's coming, it's just around the corner. It's like you never have to pay the price. Does that make sense? He could just continually, perpetually say that forever, right? How long are people going to keep believing that and thinking that that's going to happen, right? What if September comes, still have no speech, then December, right? Then he's going, oh no, it's coming next month, right? I think it's a dangerous game to play that. And I think this is a perfect example of trusting your sources and using sources like this and coming out with information like this is my thing. But hey, to each their own. If that's what Mark wants to do, have at it, right? But I don't see any speech coming anytime soon at all. Not the one that Mark is describing. Now, it is interesting that Laura Trump talks about a speech. Okay, so there could be something, but it's not the thing, right? So this could have been built off of a small little nugget, right? That Trump would just talk about UAP, but not confirm anything, right? And we did have some file tranches, but that's been in the works for a long time. And I don't think Mark has anything to do with that, even though he's trying to take credit for that happening. You know, and he also came out and said initially that Robert Bigelow was his source. And then George Knapp lambasted him online saying that he spoke to Robert Bigelow, and that's not it at all. Robert Bigelow didn't tell Mark Christopher Lee anything.
Okay, I just want to apologize to, well, firstly with George Knapp and then Robert Bigelow. I fucked up. I'll put a full statement out once I can think straight. I just can't think straight at the moment. I should never tweeted about Bob Lazar and George Knapp. George Knapp I respect a lot. I've spoken to him a few times. He's a really nice guy. So, yeah, there you go. It's taking its toll on my mental health. That's not really an excuse.
And then it's now revealed, this is all brand new, in this article and on this video that Mark Christopher Lee uploaded to his own YouTube channel.
Okay, so this is the post here on X that went all around the world and blew up this story about Trump's UFO speech. It was amazing, really. I got the initial information from a TV producer in America, a lovely guy called David Broadwell. And he told me there was a UFO speech ready that President Trump was ready to announce to the world, and he had been given authority by the world's leaders to deliver this speech. So I was like, gosh, I need to get that out there to the people. And that's what I did. And that's why I made this post. I didn't want to hold on to this information. I wanted the world to know. Things then got more complicated and more messy as time went on, as you will see. But that's the initial post. Yeah.
Actually, as it's stated in the article, this TV producer, right, was the one that told him this information, right? And just to be fair, he's known from a show called Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. Well, he's only been an associate producer on 2 episodes. I'm just saying. It's kind of like, what? Right? And this is the big insider that Mark Christopher Lee had. Because when Mark Christopher Lee initially came out, he said it was a insider inside the Trump White House.
Okay, massive breaking bombshell news. Remember that Washington Trump administration insider that told me that President Trump had already written the speech ready to go for UFO disclosure this year. Well, now he's got back to me and told me the exact date, and you can hold me to account for this, okay? It's going to be July the 8th.
Either way, my point is, it's not this Trump insider that Mark Christopher Lee claimed. He moved the goalpost a lot. Everything changed. So I don't know why the Daily Mail article is describing it as he got all the predictions right. Literally nothing has been right. His source that he claimed with Robert Bigelow, that has not been confirmed at all. In fact, Robert Bigelow, through George Knapp, has said that's not true at all, right? He said it was a Trump insider, right? It turned out to be just this random TV producer for Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, who's produced 2 episodes. That's who the guy is spreading this, right? And he told a bunch of UFO researchers, right? I'm just saying. And John Greenwald from the Black Vault had a great comment. I have to admit, I agree with him here. He said, instead of pretending you're a victim, list out what you actually did to vet this source. The general public deserves that, given the attention you got all for nothing. Great point, John. And then Mark responds with this. No, you're right. I'm 100% responsible. The person is very well known. Not sure what vetting could be done. So he's like, I don't know what I really could have done to vet him. You know, he was a pretty, well-known source, and this, I'm responsible. His comments are all over the place. And what's interesting is he said, not sure what he could have done to vet him. Because in TikTok videos, he said this about his source.
So there's a lot going on at the moment, especially on X, regarding UFO disclosure on July the 8th, 2026. This is the date I've been told by an insider at the Pentagon who has been in touch. They have been vetted.
They've been vetted, but you also just said, what could you have done to vet them? But you said you vetted them. So which is it, Mark? And this is what I mean about Mark backpedaling and not handling the fallout from this correctly, right? He didn't handle, in my opinion, well, the criticism that he got when he came out with the story, but took all the glory. And now the fallout from this BS, right? He's kind of pissed at people for calling him out, right? And now lying. I mean, that's just an outright lie. Which is it? I mean, he either lied in that video that he said that he vetted him, or he's lying to John Greenwald here. Which is it, right? So he was willing to tell his followers that he had done his due diligence. He had vetted him, right? Trusted insider, right? And that's not the only time he said something similar.
This information was fed to me by a Washington insider whom I know and I trust, and is a very, very good source.
He knows him. He trusts him. He's a very good source. Well, apparently not, right? He vetted him. I mean, which, again, doesn't make any sense. So where was he lying? He's clearly lying, but which part, right? My opinion, all of it. And another thing, the second video that Mark put out, at the top in text, he put that he had proof from the Trump administration about all this. Whatever happened to that proof, right? Again, I don't think he ever had proof at all. Just, again, another lie that I think he just made all this up. A lot of red flags here and a lot of weird things, but again, to each their own. If this is the line that Mark Christopher Lee wants to go down, this path, have at it. I wish him the best. Us sitting on the sidelines, at least me personally, I just don't see any of this being valid or there being any disclosure speech coming anytime soon. Again, not the speech we all want. Just don't see that happening, especially with Trump's, his involvement with the topic. Just not that interested. Even though he's been briefed by all these people, all these things have happened, he still just doesn't care, right? Because he hasn't been shown anything of substance, in my opinion. Nothing happened at NATO, and it'll just keep moving the goalpost on this speech. So, whatever. It is what it is. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Remember that as every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.